My name is MMI, and we are going to be digging into the strategy that I used in order to grow on LinkedIn in such a short period of time. So hopefully this is very entertaining for you, but also very valuable for you to take away with your brand strategy or your personal brand or your business, whatever it is that you do on LinkedIn. Let's get right into this webinar, and thank you for being here. So I'm going to just give you a bit of an agenda, a bit of a roadmap so that everybody knows what we're going to be covering in this webinar today. So we will start with an intro. I will introduce myself to you a little bit about my journey. We'll get right into the meat of the presentation, which is the strategy, how I actually grew from 0 followers to 4,000 plus followers in 3 months, and how you can as well. We have a surprise announcement, which is very exciting. So stick around for that. And then we also have a Q&A session of this webinar. So if you have any questions that you would like answered, or you just have anything to say, please feel free to pop your questions in there. Perfect. So like I said, let's start with a little introduction. Some of you may know me from LinkedIn. We might be connected. I might have seen you around. If so, hello. Or maybe this is the first time you are meeting me and someone sent you the link to join this webinar. And if that is the case, it is lovely to meet you. Like I said, my name is MMI. I have 8+ years of marketing experience. I've had the opportunity to work in a lot of different areas of marketing. I was a freelancer, a brand strategist, social media manager, marketing consultant, you name it, I've done it. I've worn all of the hats, and as you can see, I very much like to wear hats. But during that time, I was able to do a couple of things, and one of them was build and maintain multiple online communities that not only engage, but also convert. I have strategically made myself and with others content that has reached 8 million organic social media views for clients and brands that I've worked for. And I've also built and maintained community platforms that get 15 million monthly profile views. And through all of these efforts during my career, I've brought in about $20 million in revenue for my clients and brands that I have worked for. Now I am the CEO and founder of MMI, and our mission is to make marketing simple for people just like you, who maybe you're a freelancer, maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're a business owner, maybe you're just trying to build your personal brand. So I have certainly had, the years of experience to back it up, and now I get to share it with you guys in formats like this on a webinar. So thank you for being here, and that is a little bit about me. But let's get right into to the webinar, right? To the presentation, to the meat of it. So on LinkedIn, there is this discourse that there must be a secret sauce. There must be a secret formula that people are using in order to grow or to, build online communities really quickly on the platform. What is the secret sauce? Is there a secret sauce? And the answer is no. There is no secret sauce for LinkedIn growth. I wish there were. If there was a secret sauce, then we'd probably all be very rich if we figured out what that was. But no, there is no secret sauce, but there is a mountain. And before I lose you there, stay with me, okay? Because when we talk about a mountain, we're talking about Cringe Mountain. And everybody has to climb Cringe Mountain. It doesn't matter whether you have 500 followers or 50,000 followers on LinkedIn. Everybody starts from 0, and everybody has to start at the bottom of Cringe Mountain. And when you are getting on LinkedIn, it can feel very uncomfortable when you first start posting content. Maybe you feel a little bit embarrassed. Maybe you feel like, ooh, I don't want people from my real life to see my LinkedIn content. And it feels a little bit cringe. It does. It feels a little awkward sometimes. But everyone has to start there. You have to start at the bottom of Cringe Mountain, consistently climb up post your content, build that muscle that requires you to show up consistently online, and then eventually you will get to the land of cool. And the land of cool is different for everybody. Sometimes it's just reaching 1,000 followers. Sometimes it's reaching 100,000 followers. It really depends on what your goals are. So there is no secret sauce, but there is a cringe mountain that everyone has to climb consistently. I've done it, and I know a lot of you are either climbing it right now or you're about to embark on that journey. So I want to stress here that consistency is the only way that you will get to the other side and start to actually see a return on investment on your time and your efforts that you put into LinkedIn. So, saying all of that, growth takes time, guys. If you are on LinkedIn to get rich quick, to grow a following overnight, and to suddenly see, all this money pouring in and all these followers popping up, you're probably going to be disappointed because whether you like it or not, consistently building a community of super fans, of people who love your content, who tune in every single day to hear what you have to say, does take time. So I have grown from 0 to 4,000 followers in 3 months. Some might say that's really quick. Some might say that's slow, right? It depends on who you're talking to. But the thing I want to stress here is that you are all on your own journey. Like I'm on my own journey, you're on your own journey, and growing your number of followers is not as important as growing your community and the people that you actually have watching you and engaging with you and supporting you on your journey to content creation. So on the left-hand side, I have a screenshot of my account when I had started. I didn't take a screenshot earlier than 670 followers that I could find. So my apologies, but you'll have to see the 670, but just pretend that is 0. And then the one on the right-hand side is, I believe it was, last night I took this screenshot and we're at 5,530 followers. So grown the community even since launching the webinar marketing. So that's very exciting, but growth does take time. And when you compare yourself to other people on the journey, it can kind of trip you up a little bit. So you do want to make sure that you're staying in check and staying in line with your goals. So obviously you guys are here today to find out, how did I do this? How did I go from 0 to 4,000 in 3 months? What was I doing? What was the strategy I was implementing? And how did I actually achieve these results? And there's no gatekeeping here today, guys. I want to share everything I have done with you. We're going to get into the meat of it. I have broken down my process into 3 steps to LinkedIn growth. We love things in 3s. It keeps it nice and easy and able to understand and take away. And then steal my strategy, use it for yourself, implement it into your strategy, whether it's for your business, your brand, whatever you're working on. So also get your pen and paper ready because this is the time to take notes. So if you're a note taker, I see you. I'm with you. Okay. So 3 steps to growth on LinkedIn. I've broken it down into 3 parts. The first one is understanding, what is my why? And the little text there, it says, why am I doing this to myself? We'll cover that in the next slide, but it's very important and essential to understand what your why is. Why are you showing up on LinkedIn? Why are you showing up? Why are you trying to grow a following? Because it will help you. It will be your North Star and it will guide you to the goals that you're trying to reach. The second is having a strategy that works. And, there's a lot of strategies online. There's a lot of social media gurus saying, use my strategy, post at 10 a.m., 3 times a day, whatever, right? But the most important thing for you to do, like we mentioned earlier, is be consistent with your growth and your journey and be consistent with your content. So in order for you to do that and to do it well, you have to find a strategy that works for you and not against you. And the third is time to engage. Engage like your life depends on it. Because if you are on LinkedIn, you probably know that your life does depend on it. Your LinkedIn life depends on you engaging and showing up and getting in the comments and building those relationships and talking to people in the DMs. And it's very true, especially for LinkedIn, you do have to engage. So let's move on to breaking down kind of each part and getting a little bit more in depth about this. So number 1, what is your why? right? When I first started on LinkedIn, I had to be really honest with myself and say, why am I actually trying to grow a community? Why am I trying to grow a following on social media? Because it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort. It can be very frustrating, it can be very disheartening. There's a lot of self comparison that happens. And it is a journey that, if you are here today on this webinar, I'm sure that you have experienced it in some way or another. So asking yourself, what is your why? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish by having a LinkedIn presence, by building a personal brand, by building your business's brand? What are you trying to accomplish? And then the second part to that is, why does it matter? Why does building a community and a following and influence online matter to you? Why is it important? And what are your goals and why does it matter are going to be the thing that keeps you going when you don't want to show up. It's very easy to start on your LinkedIn journey and feel very inspired and feel very excited, and you're posting content, but it does start to wean when you are not seeing that growth that you want, or maybe your post flops, or you're just not getting the engagement that you want for the content you're putting out. So understanding what your goals are and why it matters to you will help you achieve the goals. And another thing I always like to recommend as well, if you're starting on your LinkedIn journey or you're kind of in the middle of it, is being really honest with yourself and saying, what happens if I don't achieve my goals? What happens if I don't grow my LinkedIn personal brand? What happens if I don't grow my company's social media presence? What happens to me, to my business, to my life if I do not achieve these goals? Because writing those down and having a very clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve, why it matters, and what happens if you don't achieve it will give you the motivation to keep going when things are not as easy as you would like them to be. So, number 2, what is your strategy? I talked a little bit about this, but having a strategy is essential when you are trying to build a presence online. It's not just about posting online. It's about getting in depth about what you're trying to achieve and what you need to know in order to achieve those goals, right? So the first one is it realistic for you? If you are trying to post 7 days a week, twice a day, um, and you are a full-time 9 to 5 employee and you have a family and you have a social life, that's probably not realistic for you. And a lot of people will show up and say, no, you have to post 7 days a week in order to see results and to see growth. And I just don't agree with that. I think that the consistency part will carry you further than going really hard on posting and having content go out constantly. You want to focus on quality over quantity every single time. Another thing is, when it comes to your strategy, you have to ask yourself, is it focused on your goals? Is it actually helping you achieve what you need to achieve? And the third part is, does it involve just copying other content creators? Guys, don't do this, okay? I'm a big fan of taking inspiration from other content creators or LinkedIn influencers, whatever you want to call them, and looking at their content and going, wow, I'm really inspired by their content. I'm really inspired by what they have to say or the way they format their posts, right? That's great. You want to take inspiration from people who are ahead of you, and you want to have the opportunity to study what is already working for people who are ahead of you on that journey. But just copying their strategy is not going to help you succeed in the way that you think it will. And the reason is because when you are at 500 followers or 5,000 followers, it's a very different strategy than when you are at 50,000 followers, right? So when you look at those larger influencers or content creators, their strategy will differ from what yours will be. So you have to look at it, take inspiration, but don't outright copy them. So the strategy that I used, I'm going to talk to you about this because I think it will be useful for you guys. I have created a CEC Content Method strategy. I've used this for my LinkedIn growth. This is what I used in order to grow from 0 to 4K. And MMI, we use it for my husband, Brett McCosham uses it. Our clients use it, and it's a great way to have a roadmap to your success, but do it in a way that feels manageable. So I obviously can't explain in depth the CECC content method in one 45-minute webinar, especially when we have all this other information to go through. But if that is something that you are interested in learning more about, let me know, pop it in the chat, pop it in the comments here, and we can organize another webinar to go in depth about what the CEC content method is. But I will give you a very brief overview so that you understand what it is, what I used, and then we can move forward. So the CECC content method is essentially 4 different content buckets broken up into types of content that you're going to be posting consistently online. I will mention as well that this isn't just a strategy for LinkedIn. You can use it for other social media platforms as well. We have with great success. So just take that with what you will. So the first one is connect content. And connect content is essentially the goal is to get you noticed on a larger scale, not to go super viral. I mean, if that happens, sure, whatever. If you have been following me for a while, you know that the goal is not to go viral, okay? The goal is to attract as many of your target audience as you can, but that doesn't mean just getting in front of whoever and whatever you can. So connect content could be a shareable meme that is relatable, that's funny, and it's easy to share so that you are getting more eyes on your content, but it's being shared among people who you're actually trying to attract. I do have an example on the next slide, which I will show you. The next content bucket is energized content. And this is very popular on LinkedIn, right? It's that educational content that gives advice to your audience that they can take right away and use in their strategy. So for example, if you were a fitness influencer or a fitness content creator and you posted about form for push-ups, how to do push-ups the right way, your followers are able to take that information and implement it in their workout immediately. So it's the same type of idea. It doesn't matter what industry or niche you're in. It's giving your it's giving your audience content that they can take away immediately, get energized from, and see results. It's building your authority. It's building your thought leadership in the industry that you're in. The next is community building content. So this is my personal favorite. I love community building content, but it's focused on personal storytelling behind the scenes of the business, really getting in the conversation with your community, building that recognition with them and that trust with them. And it's a lot of fun, right? I love seeing people build communities. I love building communities. This is the content that really sets you apart from other people. You're not just sharing memes and how-to content. You're now saying, this is my story. This is where I come from. And the goal is to build meaningful engagement and trust. And the last content bucket is converting content. And if you are a freelancer, an entrepreneur, a business owner, or if you work as a marketing professional and you are working in a business, obviously, this content is incredibly important if you want to continue to have a business. The goal of this content is to convert with content that shows proof of success, right? So that looks like testimonials, client reviews, client success stories, content focused on pain points, right? And all of the content examples I have here will differ depending on your business, your strategy, the goals you are trying to achieve, but this is a plug and play strategy that you can use for your business. So I have seen a couple of people say in the Q&A that they are looking for a webinar for CEC content method. So we can definitely do that. Keep an eye out for that. And yeah, we can do that for you guys. So using the CECC content method, I want to talk about a LinkedIn posting schedule example. And I have strategically used a schedule that shows you that you can post 3 days a week and you'll be able to have the results that you want. You don't have to post 5 or 7 days a week. Again, consistently showing up with what is manageable for you is always going to be better in the long run for your growth and for your business or your personal brand. So with the CECC content method, this specific LinkedIn posting schedule is focused on growth. So we want to grow the account. We want to have more eyes on our content and bring more of our target audience in. So using that, I know that I have to post more connect content in order to get more eyes on my profile. So with Monday, we're going to post a copywriting meme. And then on Wednesday, we're going to post energizing educational content, right? So an educational carousel to build up my thought leadership, to build up my authority in the industry that I'm trying to be in. And then on Friday, we're going to post connect content again, hot take about LinkedIn, right? So when you are building your strategy, you have to think about what are my goals and what type of content do I need to post in order to achieve my goals. So you don't have to use my content strategy, but this is one that I've found great success with, and it's very easy. I've made it in order to simplify the process. As like, we tried to make marketing simple here at MMI, so I hope that this is simple. But if not, we will go through it on another webinar for you guys. So I also want to just talk about an example of connect content. So this is a meme that I had posted, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And I think it's pretty funny, right? A lot of people thought it was funny. You can see that 329 people liked it, including Brett McCosham, my husband, who's my biggest fan. If you are on LinkedIn and you've seen us talking in the comments, then you probably know who he is. But yeah, he's always liking the content. And yeah, so 329 likes, 235 comments, and 8 reposts. And the reason why this connect content worked so well for me personally was because it's broad enough to bring in an audience, but not too broad, right? So when I'm talking about scrolling through LinkedIn and everyone's a millionaire, that's probably a reality that a lot of people experience when you come on to LinkedIn and you just see all these people saying, hey, I started my business and I've made like $1 million in 20 seconds, or, I just signed 27 clients and I've only launched my business yesterday. So it's an experience that a lot of people have, so they're able to connect to it, and they want to share it because it's relatable to them. It makes them feel something, they feel understood. So when we're looking at connect content, again, it's different for everybody. If you just posted this meme, it might not do the same thing it did for you, but that's because you have to do you have to tailor your content strategy to your audience and to your goals, right? But I just wanted to show you an example of what that kind of looks like in practice and how it can get you the results that you're looking for. So the third step in the LinkedIn 3 steps to grow is engage, engage, engage. It's so important. I said it 3 times, guys. So on LinkedIn, I really want to stress that use your time wisely, because it's really easy to get sucked into LinkedIn and spend 6, 7, 8 hours a day. I am guilty of that, guys. I have certainly spent an entire working day on LinkedIn just talking to people, and I do love it. But if you are working another job, or you have a family, or you're running a business, you don't have 8 hours to spend on LinkedIn, right? So you need to use your time wisely and strategically in order to get an ROI with the time that you are putting into your journey on the platform. So one way to do this is to build a community, over followers, right? So when you are focused on just the numbers mean nothing. I don't care if you have 10,000 followers, but if you are not engaging your accounts and you're not engaging your audience and you're not converting your audience, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just a number on the screen at the end of the day. The community is what actually matters. The community is what builds a brand, it's what builds those loyal super fans. It's the longevity of a business or a brand or a personal brand. The community is the magic behind what happens on social media. Nobody cares about numbers on a screen. They care about the people behind those numbers. So focusing your efforts on getting in the DMs, getting on to other creators' content that you really enjoy, talking about your fellow experiences or whatever, right? Like building that community. Sorry, I keep looking at the chat. I'm just I'm just looking. Yeah. Um, Okay, so the last part is a little tip. Some people say it works, some people say it doesn't. But from my experience and from my clients' experience, this is a really great thing to do, and it's engaging 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after you post on LinkedIn. This is something that I have used, and I find it warms up the algorithm. It helps you get your name out there. People are coming to your account. You're also able to support content creators that you love. So why not post and have that community building around the times that you're posting, right? So this is just a simplified way to get your name out there. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I feel like I'm talking so much and so fast. So hopefully you guys are still with me. Okay. Oh, are we not? There we go. Okay. So consistency wins every single time, guys. Every single time. If you are showing up online and you are, I'm going to use an example to help you understand this, right? So if you go to the gym for 1 month straight, and for that month, you are working out 7 days a week, 2 hours a day, and you burn yourself out, and then you give up after that month, you are never going to see the results that you want or the ROI from the time that you actually spent working out in the gym for 7 days a week, 2 hours at a time. It's the same thing when you are building a community and building a LinkedIn community, right? Or any social platform. You have to consistently show up. So I would prefer you to show up 3 days a week consistently for a year over posting 7 days a week consistently for 1 month and then just giving up, right? Because you never know when you're going to hit that spike. So you can see here with some impressions here, right? From May until about June 25th, it was pretty low, pretty slow. And then all of a sudden there's this huge spike. And if you give up before you hit that content that really connects with your audience and brings in your target audience and excites people and wants them to keep coming back to your content, then you will never see those results because you gave up too quickly. So it is better to consistently spend your time doing things that you love and building a community that you want to be with for years to come, right? So I always say that the quick wins, I don't care about the quick wins. I care about long-term success. I care about building a brand and helping my clients build brands that are actually going to weather the test of time. They're not a fad that dies off and then no one cares about them anymore. So it does take more time, but consistently working on it every day will help you get to those goals. So just to recap here, we have 3 steps in order to grow on LinkedIn, and this is what I've done. So know your why. Figure out why you want to do this. Figure out why you actually want to spend time on social media, giving all that time, giving all that energy. Figure out your why, write it down, put it in your notes app on your phone. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you spend 10, 15 minutes really thinking about that and writing it down, so that you have a clear direction on where you want to go and why you want to get there. So next is find a strategy that works for you. Stop trying to do everything and anything. Figure out what's actually going to make sense for you and for your business and for the time that you have in order to offer your community that you're trying to build. And last, engage, engage, engage. Again, so important. I said it 3 times. Make sure you're getting out there, building relationships, and have fun with it, guys. I think sometimes we get caught up in, oh, I have to respond to these DMs. Oh, I have to respond to these comments. No, you get to respond to these comments. You get to respond to these DMs. How exciting and how amazing that you are able to connect with people all over the world, and you're able to build these communities of people who have like-minded interests with you. That's incredible. I'm sorry, I'm such a social media nerd, I guess. But I just think it's amazing. So having the opportunity to engage with those people, it's awesome. So make sure you take advantage of it, and you're curating your feed so that you actually want to show up and engage.